We have problems, right? And things are affecting people. And the only thing to offset that is something that man does not make. And that will have to come by way of your Father. But the false ones are coming. You know that the UFO talks are about to resume openly. But this time, people are going to compare themselves to something. I'm telling you. This time people are going to compare themselves to something. I'm telling you. This time people are going to start to wonder what they are. I'm telling you before it takes place.
The idea that the biblical Antichrist is preparing to overtake the earth is something most have a very hard time swallowing. But the truth is, it just may happen sooner than most may want to believe.
I hope that you're ready for that mentally. Right? A big brainwashing operation is going to take place. When you're ready for that mentally, you have to be ready for those you love to be given over to that, possibly momentarily. You can't fall apart when your children come home and say, well, Mom, Dad, I think I'm from, Vega. I think I'm from that star cluster and that star cluster, right? Now, when people are faced with what they never thought they'd be faced with, then what? They're going to come up with all sorts of tales. They're going to have people worshiping things that the average person would never even consider to worship. They will. And it will absolutely work. You've been exposed to so much stuff, you don't know what to believe. It's almost like nobody can really agree with each other on the obvious things, possibly. But for the majority of things, you don't know what to believe. That includes the Gnostic Gospels. That includes the Book of Enoch. That includes all these other books. You don't know what to believe. Many people are in this place where they're trying to put something together so they can have it solid. Because people are at the point now they're going to accept a deity that's coming. They will. They're going to accept it. Hook, line, and sinker. Especially after they go through these series of UN meetings concerning these UFO topics and things like that, right? When they go through the stories and the findings that nobody has ever seen, when they show you the impossible things, right now you think are impossible, you think they're foolish, you think they're based in some weird stuff, and they're not. Somebody else is living a different reality right in front of your face, and you're not exposed to it. When it's exposed, it's going to blow your mind enough that you may drop everything you believe in. And you may believe everything anybody else from that place comes forward. Whatever they say, you may believe it hook, line, and sinker. Because they're going to be able to back up every weird thing you ever thought was weird. They're going to be able to back it up. And at that moment, if a person does not have the Lord, they're going to be lost in the sauce.
Greg, help me! It's too late for you. You're already in the hole.
The pull will be too strong. And your eyes are going to convince you. You will absolutely live among some things you never believed. And when you see it, talking about it is one thing. When you're directly exposed to it, I don't care who you are. You're liable to believe everything you see. I really wish, I'm waiting on them to actually bring out a specimen. I'll just be blunt with you. I want them to bring out a specimen. I don't know when they're going to do it. I suspect they're going to do it soon, right? Here's the difference about this specimen, something that I'm going to go ahead and tell you. When they bring out this specimen, right, the specimen can visit everybody. So in other words, imagine you see something on television, but at the same time, right, you feel it yourselves. Just imagine that. Imagine that. Think that'll wake some people up? I'll tell you what it will do. It might be revealing to some of you, but it will absolutely deceive a lot of people. I already told you guys about the evil constellation. They're going to start talking about the 13th constellation that's been missing. Of course, they're going to have their own interpretation. Sometimes I try to tell you guys things early so that you don't think I'm just talking hogwash the whole time. I do. It is so difficult to tell things that are outlandish. And again, if you tell it too early, right? Nothing. The 13th constellation, that's the evil constellation, ran by an ancient figure that was worshipped, right? Now, I know the writings where it came from, its origin. I'll tell you this, they're not going to get it right, because all too often when a civilization finds out the truth, right? When they find out the truth, they don't have much time to document that truth. And so anything you find in archaeology that is incomplete, it happened after they found out the truth. And normally they just don't have time to really etch it properly. So let me tell you this small mystery, right? There are 12 constellations. Why would there ever be a 13th? There's a 13th so you can observe the 12. When you never fall prey to the 12, because constellations did not come from Egypt, just so you know that. No, sorry. I know a lot of people would dispute that. Just like they say the Sumerian language is the oldest. No, it isn't. No, it is not. They know it's, they just let lies perpetuate. The same place where they found those scrolls, 1,000 feet below that, they found a whole nother civilization. But they don't want that out. They don't want that out at all. It's too consistent. And no biblical thing need ever be proven right. They don't want people to prove biblical things right. They certainly don't want Enoch's knowledge to be fully accepted. If that were to happen, it would spoil what they're trying to do right now. Because Enoch spilled all the beans. All of them. He spilled every single last bean you need to know about. All the rest of that stuff is an attempt to obscure. Many of these archaeological finds have been replaced. You're going to find that out too. Tablets have been replaced with false ones. See, a person who would put something in a museum, who put it in the museum? How do you know it's the original? Right? How do you know that? You don't. You don't. I've seen universities have tested false archaeological finds with carbon dating and everything else and said it was authentic, and it was not. It just wasn't. You really can't trust what mankind does. We need a spirit to give us the truth, because I'm telling you, there are lots of lies in the land. Man's concepts have absolutely been changed. And I believe that humanity is being set up big time for something that's quite ugly, quite dark, so dark that it's only going to happen once. And it just so happens that things have to be in place for that to that to happen. And people are getting in position. They are primed. They're very, they don't have trust anymore. Most people are vicious at their root. Very vicious at their root, right? In times past, like a lecture, most people would listen to a lecture, right? And just glean information from it. If it were something they didn't accept or something like that, they simply wouldn't accept it. These days, people listen for the offenses. So the first thing they hear that doesn't align with their, paradigm, they're ready to fight. They're ready to stone and throw rocks. So we're right back there, that place, again. Right? In the Bible, we read that in the last days, what men call salvation is actually damnation. The masses of the world will call something salvation. God has already condemned it.
This has been the Confidential Report. For even more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel today. And please show your support by clicking the like button on this video. For even more stories and news you deserve to know the truth about, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching the Confidential Report.